All right, so today is the 4th of July, and in America, of course, that is Independence Day, the day when we celebrate the Declaration of Independence, the official nature of the Declaration of Independence. And I'm not a political person, I hate politics, but I do love freedom, and I do like this document. I think it's a really well-written document. So what I'm going to do in this video is simply I'm going to read it. Because it's well worth reading. Um, I am going to skip over one part, the middle part where they have the individual list of complaints against the King of England. I'm gonna, so I'll read everything up until that list and then everything after that. Um, so if you don't want to hear me talk, then I recommend just looking it up and reading it. So here we go. In Congress, July 4th, 1776, the unanimous declaration of the 13 United States of America. Okay. When in the course of human events it becomes necessary for one people to dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of the earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitle them, a decent respect to the opinions of mankind requires that they should declare the causes which impel them to the separation. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, that to secure these rights, governments are instituted among men, deriving their just powers from the consent of the governed, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it, and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence indeed will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience hath shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations, pursuing invariably the same object, evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty, to throw off such government, and to provide new guards for their future security. Such has been the patient sufferance of these colonies, such is now the necessity which constrains them to alter their former systems of government. The history of the present King of Great Britain is a history of repeated injuries and usurpations, all having indirect object the establishment of an absolute tyranny over these states. To prove this, let facts be submitted to a candid world. There follows the list of complaints. In every stage of these oppressions, we have petitioned for redress in the most humble terms. Our repeated petitions have been answered only by repeated injury. A prince whose character is thus marked by every act which may define a tyrant is unfit to be the ruler of a free people. Nor have we been wanting in attentions to our British brethren. We have warned them from time to time of attempts by their legislature to extend an unwarrantable jurisdiction over us. We have reminded them of the circumstances of our emigration and settlement here. We have appealed to their native justice and magnanimity, and we have conjured them by the ties of our common brethren to disavow these usurpations, which would inevitably interrupt our connections and correspondence. They too have been deaf to the voice of justice and consanguinity. We must, therefore, acquiesce in the necessity which denounces our separation, and hold them, as we hold the rest of mankind, enemies in war, in peace, friends. We, therefore, the representatives of the United States of America, in General Congress assembled, appealing to the supreme judge of the world for the rectitude of our intentions, do, in the name and by the authority of the good people of these colonies, solemnly publish and declare that these united colonies are, and of right ought to be, free and independent states, that they are absolved from all allegiance to the British Crown, and that all political connection between them and the state of Great Britain is, and ought to be, totally dissolved, and that as free and independent states they have full power to levy war, conclude peace, contract alliances, establish commerce, and do all other acts and things which independent states may of right do. And for the support of this declaration, with a firm reliance on the protection of divine providence, we mutually pledge to each other our lives, our fortunes, and our sacred honor. Good stuff. That's how you do it. That right there is a man's document. Yeah. If a woman had written that, it wouldn't have been written. But it wasn't enough just to write it. That was basically, a breakup letter to England, saying this relationship is not working. We're gonna do our own thing. But England, like any big government, was like an abusive boyfriend who refuses to take no for an answer. And so the founding fathers and the citizens of the American colonies had to back up these words with actions. They had to fight a freaking war. The Declaration of Independence was just that, a declaration, what they intended to do. But they couldn't do that without fighting that war. Just as, someone said, I don't know who originally said it, that the Constitution doesn't protect the people unless the people protect the Constitution. The Declaration of Independence had to be supported by acts of independence, and so the American colonies fought the might of the British Empire, and like the Rebel Alliance in Star Wars fighting the Galactic Empire, they freaking won. And they went from there. And America certainly had its ups and downs, its issues since then. But without freedom, what have you got? Right? You can't. It's not. There's no ups and downs. There's just downs. Right? So, go ahead and reread that yourself, and without my stumbling over it. And also, I would like to end this video by actually quoting something else. Quoting my favorite pre-war speech. It's either my first favorite or my second favorite pre-war speech from a movie. The other contender is Aragorn's speech in front of the Black Gates of Mordor in Return of the King. But this one is from Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End. And it has a great lead into it. You have Barbossa talking to Elizabeth Swann and saying, revenge won't bring your father back, and it's not something I'm intending to die for. And she says to him, you're right. So what shall we die for? It's a great line. And it leads into this. You will listen to me. Listen! The brethren will still be looking here to the Black Pearl, to us, to the Black Pearl to lead. And what will they see? Frightened bilge rats on a derelict ship? No. No, they will see free men and freedom. And what our enemies will see is the flash of our cannons. They will hear the ring of our swords, and they will know what we can do. By the sweat of our brows, and the strength of our backs, and the courage of our hearts. Gentlemen, hoist the colors. Great stuff. Anyway, so, thanks for listening. May freedom ring.